Hi, this is Legina Gold, and welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. And what I want to talk about today, what I want to talk about is death and what it means when you die. Well, death is people have this weird way of thinking that death is you die and you just die and you just probably won't have life after you die, but it's actually just you elevated to a different level. Your physical vessel, which is this body, that's this my body, will not longer inhabitate my soul. My spirit is no longer able to stay in this body. So like if you're in a car and something happens to your car, you don't die. It's just your car is messed up, and or your car might die and not be able to work again. But if I get out that car, I'm still alive. So that's in that way. So everybody is energy. Energy is just particles or molecules that move. You ever watched the TV show Danny Phantom, where he was the physical Danny or whatever the Danny last name, his real last name was, to when he transformed into Danny Phantom. He was still there, but his molecule got rearranged, and he was able to go through walls and fly and everything else. So technically, that was his spirit. That was his spirit. And if you're watching Bleach, you'll see how the animation Bleach, when you see how when they went to sleep and their body was no longer there, and then they was able to fight and live with their soul body. That's exactly what it is. So when they say you die, you don't die. It just because we're in this 3D body right now, we can't most people really can't see or hear or feel them, even though they're here. It just you're not able to, versus somebody that's like a little bit vibrate higher enough and then they're able to um, see or hear them. And what to break it off is they're just transformation. Sometimes when people die, it's because they're light or they're vibrating too high to for your body to their body to hold them. So like a lot of people, when they say people die young or the good die young or something, sometimes their light is too bright, or they might be paying for a karmic debt, and that's a whole different story. But for other people that like the angels on the earth, they are here, and people don't know that people that pass on, they are still here. It just you don't see them. So another instance, like a video game where you pass these level and you don't, and for that game, if you're in the game, you go on to level 1, level 2, and level 3, 10, and all that. So you just go higher and higher and you elevate, or you might have to come back down. So when you think about our life is as a game or another way of us living, then you ought to understand that that's when you die, you don't die. You just move on and go somewhere higher. And people feel like, oh, you won't see them anymore, which isn't true. Is you will see them because your soul is just in this body, this vehicle temporarily. And when you're in this vehicle temporarily, it's also up to you and everybody else to do what you got to do here, because you have to rise to the challenges. You have to be the hero of your own story. You can also be the villain and be a villain to somebody else's story, or you can be the hero and help somebody else's story and also help yours. It's That's what a lot of things they say challenges. You have to be able to challenge yourself to be greater, or you just challenge yourself to be worse and be terrible. But for this stigma about death and saying that you will never see them when they live in your heart. Of course, they live in your heart. It's a type of energy. And what I was saying about energy is just like, say for instance, for ice. Ice is ice cubes. You have an ice cube and it melts down to water. The ice cube don't die. It just transfer. It just melts down to water and liquid, or it can turn into gas after it becomes liquid. So that type of energy doesn't die; it just transform. And when it transform, it can go to gas and come back to. It's like a circle of life. It just come back to the repeat itself, Just like if when our body die, when we're supposed to be cremated, it can actually go in the sky, or you can scatter out in the ground and fertilize the ground, and you the no it bring life to the plants and everything else. It fertilize, and that's what our life form is. Even though, even if I was to die, my spirit will still live on, my soul it will still live on. It just, I won't have my body, I just won't have my car, and that's what it is. So when people say like, "Oh, you're gonna die," people don't die. They're still around you. Believe me. Like, um, I really want to say like, cause I'm a clairaudient, I do hear dead people, even though I can't see them. I probably seen them and never knew it was dead people, but I hear them, and they actually sound like real people. Like they seem like real people, but sometimes I vibrate low. Like they it don't really sound like sometimes human. It just sound like wavelengths, or you ever watch Charms and what's his name, Leo? He will, the little angels will talk to him or something. That's like the little chinkles I heard. So knowing that energy is around us, we are our energy, is not something to be scared of, because in the day we can't see them, they can see you. They can see you. It just, we don't vibrate high enough for them to see it, for them to understand and see that they here. Even though when you go to sleep and you're on this like trance state, you'll notice that it's easier for you to communicate with the dead, and they visit each other in dead, because your soul actually left the body, or your soul is just not thinking. 3D is not in this like physical level of thinking. It's very easy to just like connect, and it's not a bad thing about death. It's just, they just move to the next level. And I hate to say it, but we're only on level 3. Like, we're just like one of the lowest levels of consciousness right now, but we're gonna get better. But it is what it is. And I know I might sound crazy to some, and the other few is like, oh, it makes sense, but it is what it is. People don't die. Every energy transform, and that's the circle of life. Where do you think you was at before you got here? Like, do anybody ever questions that? No, you was probably living in a whole different life, and then you left that life, and then you just came here, and you're gonna experience other lives. You're probably still visiting loved ones, and you don't even know that from your past lives. Like, people be reincarnated or incarnated gods, and they don't know that they are. It's just a lot of things about death. It's just a lot of things about transformation. Is you don't really die. Your soul never dies. So your body don't really die. It can just go to another. It can feed the, I guess, maggots or the flies, and it just go on to so on and so on. Energy, you can't kill energy, no matter. Doesn't mean you can see it, can't see it. Like, people don't see air or gas, but doesn't mean it's not there. It is there. So it's like a quick little ramble. I'm just like, want to put this out there and just give it to the mass, the general mass, and just ease your mind about death. And it's okay to talk to loved ones that you probably lost, and you can still feel their presence, because they are there. They left energies everywhere. They are there to help you and guide you, and they're just there. They're just waiting for you to acknowledge them too, because in the day, if they somewhere trying to talk to you and you don't understand, it's kind of heartbreaking in a way too. Sorry, my neck is just getting crooked. So bye.